Здравствуйте, моя собака. Что тебе от меня надо? Что тебе от меня надо, моя собака? Так, сейчас чат на ютубе открою. Так. Охайо. Так, а где я тут остановилась? Я не так далеко прошла, вроде бы, что еще ни одну ачивку не получила. Хотя они тут вроде есть. Так, я вроде бы посмотрела уже эту историю. Я там у деда какого-то что-то не посмотрела, по-моему. Тут такое неудобное управление, пиздец.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Не тут, по-моему, кстати. По-моему, чуть дальше. Я там что-то где-то упустила. Эй, игра! Игра!
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
По-моему, где-то вот... Или я все-таки тут ничего не упустила? Или все-таки не тут было? Я, короче, там что-то застопорилась на сюжете, и я пошла на YouTube, и я там где-то что-то не подобрала. Вот и я сейчас ищу, что я не подобрала. Ладно, полезли обратно. Это игра, короче, где ты за девушку изучаешь как бы свое семейное древо в семейном особняке. Семьи тут, как я понимаю, прокляты, потому что дети умирали при странных обстоятельствах.
I wonder if that comic was right about there being a key inside the music box near the basement.
Есть ключ, как в комиксе. У входа в подвал. Эй, не-не-не-не-не-не-не. Типа у всех детей свои спальни в честь их памяти, скажем так. Так. У входа в подвал. А где под... Игра, ну что это такое? Такого же первый раз не было. Входа в подвал. А где подвал, скажите мне, пожалуйста. А? Пароль?
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
Где подвал? Там так темно, фу. Не люблю там темно. А вот шкатулка. Не-не-не, ты что делаешь? Я не думаю, что это прям таки хорошая идея идти в подвал в таком доме. Ну игра, ну что это за проседы? Такого же не было. Что это такое? Ну, пиздец, блядь. Да, идти в подвал, где якобы умерла девушка. Гениально. Ну, просто как бы 300 IQ как бы.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Чё, как дела-то, Даня? Пиши что-нибудь. Это игра такая на расслабоне.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
Темно, что не игра.
I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Ничего себе. Это еще что? Ай, ну что так темно?
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone.
Что за хоррор
She said after Barbara
начинается? Я
died,
не
he got as
хочу
far away
хоррор.
as he could.
Не-не-не, с хоррором вы идите куда подальше.
If there's a pattern in all these stories,
Так, стоп. Стоп. Эх, Даня, ты ушел.
I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
О, два человечка пришли. Приветствую.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal.
Монстр.
Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just
Тебе
Stop.
надоело жрать персики, чувак.
Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid.
Март, он весь с января
It's
по
been a week
март он
now, the
ел
longest in 30 years.
все 30 лет.
I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can. I know it's out there somewhere.
Что за хоррор?
Whatever
Я не
killed
хочу
Barbara.
хоррор. Ты что, убил Барбару?
And Molly
Бля.
and Calvin.
А куда? А где? А куда? А.
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Это было сейчас очень громко.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Искусственное окно. Пишите что-нибудь. А то пока как-то нудненько.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
Что?
I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real. I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
Чатик в этом
And when you
жил?
look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness
Чего молчим?
and madness. Any of it seems possible.
А куда? Я не понимать. Дорога ведет вообще нахуй.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery. I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Нифига. Ну, возьми за лестницу.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
What? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged. Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Smile, Dawn. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Aw.
А что мне надо было сфоткать?
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
А что мне надо сфоткать? Я не понимаю. Что, кого мне нужно сфоткать?
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee. Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph?
Например, рыба.
Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip.
Dad!
Олень.
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need... Great shot, Dawn! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Еба.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me. Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Напишите что-нибудь, ну пожалуйста. А то как-то одиноко, что ли. Вы совсем со мной не разговариваете. Грустно. А причем
After Sam
что-то
died,
русский.
my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both
Субтитры для
lost a
кого
lot.
сделаны? А, русский делаешь. Тогда удачи. А я думаю, проведу стрим, потом пойду попробую поучить
Dear
корейский.
Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Лягушка. А что мне делать-то? Что мне делать с лягушкой? Не понимаю. Нифига технологии. Ну тебя
Over,
соберу.
Gregory. It's time to. Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't.
Ох, я лягушку управляю.
I wonder what he saw,
Увидел флекс.
what his world was like. He reminded me so much of Calvin.
Я хочу сбить эти
Lost in his
буквы.
imagination.
Я хочу сбить эти буквы. Никто меня не остановит.
Whatever it was,
Да
he
ну,
saw.
блять. Why I am so тупая лягушка. Ну сбей ты эту букву. Во. Во. Ну. Да ну не так. Что за Лебединое озеро играет? Да ну... Я хочу вот этот разбить. Управление через жопу. Е. Р. Грегори. Что? что мне делать-то, объясните? В чем смысл этого всего? Что я делаю? Я флекшу в ванне. А дальше что? Что мне делать-то? Вот оно чё. Ну блин. Да ну лягушка. Какое тут дурацкое управление. Тоже хочешь?
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish you could have told us
Бля.
about the world we saw.
Бля, закрой, нет.
Hey, there's so much I don't understand about Gregory.
Зелёный пацан. Да ну ёп.
But I know what happened wasn't your fault.
Например, кто вообще маленького ребенка в здравом разуме оставляет в ванне одного?
I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay.
Какой дебил оставляет ребенка в ванне одного? Туда я пришла. Может мне в окно надо вылезть? Газ?
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that I
now
remember.
pronounce you husband and wife. Make him the bride.
Там свадьба, что ли, происходит? Не понимаю. Где еще буквы-то? Где еще буковки? О, здрасте.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Его, наверное,
The rain
вместе
came
с
down
этим
in buckets
унесет,
then,
да?
but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
А посмотреть там прогноз погоды не вариант было вообще?
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you. She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Привет третьему человеку.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Ку-ку, Татьяна. Мы тут изучаем печальную историю семьи.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Голос ГГ на мой похож, ну даже не знаю на самом деле. А зачем мне спускаться, если я только поднялась? Тут больше ничего нет? А историю там какую-нибудь узнать? Нет? Нет? А?
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later.
Мы уже почти всю историю изучили, но ачивки я получила что-то очень мало. Прям одну ачивку я только получила, хотя мы практически за все семейные древа изучили.
I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while,
Ну, не знаю даже.
things were good. Almost normal.
Типа в чем прикол игры? Короче, Тянка узнает историю, в принципе, всей своей семьи. То, что все ее братья, родители, прабабушки, прадедушки погибают при странных обстоятельствах. И все это считают проклятием, но это все были несчастные случаи.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
А еще эта Тянка беременная. Недавно только об этом сказали.
Milton Finch Inn,
the magic paintbrush.
Ну, я листаю, ну... Суть геймплея: ты ходишь при помощи всяких записок, фотографий, узнаешь, что приключилось с членами твоей семьи, как они умерли, из-за чего они умерли. Одна девочка умерла от того, что ее укусила змея, другой умер от того, что на качелях раскачался, другого убило ветром на свадьбе отца. Там, в общем, такие случаи. Ребенка утопило в ванне. Все сложно. Да, ходьба и взаимодействие с предметами, да. Какой-то инди-проект. Вот, видишь, семейное древо, мы практически уже все изучили.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Вот, Эдис, это как раз таки девочка, это... Странно, игра вроде бы короткая, но ачивок гораздо больше. Значит, тут есть какие-то секретики. Да, музыка тут реально хорошая. Она прям атмосферная. Я где-то 3 членов семьи изучила одна вчера, играя вечером. Прям очень атмосферненько было.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Так, а куда мне теперь-то идти? Ну, вроде бы остался только один член семьи, вроде бы. Ну, куда? А-а-а.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Mm-hmm. Ну, я бы хотела вот в таком вот месте посидеть на таких креслах, хотя я думаю, это не особо безопасно, но все же.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Наркоман.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Комната юного стримера. Drive to the Moon. Я не знаю, если она на плейке, и смотря сколько она стоит.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to...
Начал. Ну. А что мне делать-то надо? Его разум начал.
Wander.
Ничего себе, я управляю этим челиком.
I asked him to describe it.
Я одновременно 2 стиками
He said
управляю.
he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
Что за дьявол начинается?
Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville.
New York.
St. Louis.
Корабль так неудобно
We
управляется.
started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a
Прекрасный принц. Давайте по гейщиту
beautiful
пойдем.
prince.
Что-то такой себе принц на самом деле.
The prince was on his own quest for radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of his silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. Began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Но... Что? Окей, у него уже глюки пошли. Эй! Игра мне заставляет идти туда.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
А, он забредил, вместо лестницы увидел.
The palace would be packed with his companions.
Бля, печально. Привет четвертому человеку.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him.
Молли.
His prince waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do.
Да-да-да, челики классные, как бы просто эндермены такие. Просто вот это флекс как бы.
Bend down his head. I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Фигурка этого принца. Кек.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another.
О, это ее комната, блин, так уютно, я бы хотела себе такую комнату. Для росписи. Блин, тут уютно, очень. Это ведь она, это ведь ее имя.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about
Она
alcohol.
ест
Some of her
палочками,
medications
одной
are very
палочкой
I
мясо.
left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
В коридоре подарок.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sailed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
Интересно, тут одинаковые, типа, разные концовки или все-таки одна на всех?
Thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around.
Эй, передо мной же не было никакого камня, когда я туда шла. Точнее, был, но не такой большой.
For a while, I wondered.
Интересный
I
геймплей.
started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
Давай, Тань.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone.
Все-таки умерла.
I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Она все-таки умерла. Так, и пропустить я это никак не могу. Да, я это никак не могу пропустить. Приз, конец сниму. Ну что, как вам игра? Лично мне понравилось, несмотря на то, что она настолько грустная и заставляет задуматься. Так, сейчас, в смысле? А там же гораздо больше ачивок. Пройдите к дому обеими тропами, поймайте двух зайцев за пикирование, дайте пьяному матросу запеть его песню. Ну тут пройдите историю Келвина еще раз. Заключительные титры до имени Йогана. Совершенно с бильярдного стола. Тут, короче, такие ачивки, до которых ты сам особо не додумаешься на самом деле. Поэтому приходится вот как-то так гадать, да. А платины тут нету, да? Да, платины тут нет. Печально. Чё тебе, собака моя сладкая? Чего? Я на самом деле думал, эта игра будет чуть подольше, но нет. Сколько сейчас времени? Угу. Так, а стрим длится час. Час длится стрим. У меня вроде бы есть еще подобные парочку игрушек. Думаю, можно будет их тоже потом как-нибудь пройти. Но не знаю, даже не знаю. Эта игра родилась 5 лет. Edith. Тут, как я понимаю, можно повторить историю именно типа некоторых персонажей. А надо ли? Чё, чатик, вы там еще живой? Вы там не умерли? Отзовитесь. Бррр, отзовитесь. Меня собака хочет съесть. Как она пытается меня съесть, точнее. У нее это получается. Чатик. 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 Не игнорируйте меня. Просто не знаю, дальше продолжать стрим по какой-нибудь другой игре или его завершать, поэтому мне нужно ваше мнение. А вы молчите. Ой, ой, ой. Так, ну, раз чатик ничего не говорит, то тогда я выключаю этот стрим. И, в принципе, на сегодня все. Может быть, еще в четверг будет. Не знаю почему, по какой игре, но, скорее всего, в четверг, но не факт. Поэтому спасибо всем, кто был. Всем пока.